Welcome back. We are at the big build, and today we're going to be doing some essential works that we need to get done to keep ahead of the builder, and we're going to start on the LED tape, which I'm really freaking excited about. So I'm going to get my tools in, and then we're going to get cracking. Essentially, jobs I need to get done today. I need to get these ovens connected because he wants to be able to get the infill panels fitted and not have to take them out again. So I'm going to get those connected just on the flex side, so they're finished. I'll probably, potentially, going to get my circuit breakers, so all my RCBOs fitted in the DB, just to double check that I've actually got everything I need. And likewise, I've got some terminals and that ready. So I'm using the Wago 2201 series of DIN rail mounted terminals. So they're push fits. They're actually really nice, not gonna lie. Not the cheapest, but I really like them. What else are we gonna be doing? Yeah, we're gonna make a start on the LED tape. So I've got 100 meters of LED tape that needs to go in. So I've been through it all this morning. So what I've got is 21. So I've actually got 105 meters, 21 of these 5 meter kits, which will all get cut to specific lengths, soldered up, fitted, tested as well, prior to fitting, tested after fitting, and then left now until we're ready, we can put diffusers in. So it's going to be a bit of a process, but yeah, we're going to have a bit of fun with it, hopefully. I'm quite looking forward to it, to be honest, because it's going to look awesome, I think. So we'll see, but yeah, we've got a large lighting connection that we need to do in that back of that top cupboard. Kitchen fitters brought all our cables out above at the moment, but we're going to drop them into the cupboard. And then that essentially, what the idea is, basically there's a lot of cables here for what will essentially be a 3 or a 4 gang switch, which is going to get cut in and mounted into the side of this unit. Now, 2 reasons why I couldn't just bring all the cables down to the switch. 1, we only have that depth to work in. So essentially I'm going to be fitting a 25mm box there in that panel. And 2, there just would have been no way I would have fitted all those cables in that size box anyway. So, and it just would have been a pain in the ass to terminate. So what we're going to do is big connection there and then just drop down 3 or 4 3/4, whatever it is I needed, I can't remember now, to this switch, terminate it in there, big connection up there, secondary switch there, and then, yeah, lovely. So that's one of the other jobs. And then let's just see how I get on time-wise. But yeah, we're going to make a good start. I've got loads of tools in. It's full of rubbish from a job I did yesterday. I had a bit of a call-out day yesterday. So I had to go and do some emergency work for a construction firm based in Cornwall, but they've got a site up here in Devon that they're working on. And one of their units, the power inlet onto the container failed, so one of the pins had actually got hot and melted, so they were either drawing too much current or loose connection. I think it was too much current they were drawing, to be honest. I did ask the guy and he wasn't sure because the site, it had only just been dropped off to their site. So, and we have just come out of winter at the end of the day, so they've probably had too many heaters on in there. So I had to replace that as well as the plug going onto it from the lead coming from the generator. I then had to go to another site where I had to do something similar again. I had to go back to a job that we did where we fitted some additional sockets in someone's house where the power started tripping off. I said to the lady, right, I can't get to you at the moment. I'm actually really busy. And then she said, I can smell burning. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, right, I'll tell you what, actually, I'm going to drop what I'm doing. I'm going to come around right now. And I went around there. And of course, it was nothing we'd done. That's not to mean I didn't start panicking like you do, which is why I dropped what I was doing. I would have been very surprised. But yeah, we went there and essentially something had been spilt upstairs. No carpets, just exposed floorboards. And it had gone down through the floor and found its way to a junction box where it had just been fizzing away and creating a bit of a burning smell. So it was actually, the RCD had tripped and was continuing to trip because it was tracking through whatever this fluid was. But yeah, so I got that all sorted out for her, and I sort of said to her, I said, look, you know, if you want to be careful with spilling stuff up here, or if you're mopping the floor, make sure you want to use a dry mop, really. Just there's not surplus fluid to stop things, because it's an old house, there's junction boxes everywhere in the floor, so it could obviously happen again. But yeah, and then I had to go and connect up what was it? Oh, shepherd's hut, lovely shepherd's hut, and a pergola that was with it. So there's pictures of that on my Instagram. It was really nice, actually. A lot of money. The client said it cost her like £75,000, which just sort of blew my mind a little bit. But hey ho. Right, let's get started then. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do first. I might look at getting these ovens done, because that's going to be a bit of a rubbish job, and then doing these lighting connections. Something else I do want to do as well, if I've got time, is the LED tape on the kitchen and all the switches and accessories that are in the cupboards in the kitchen, because now's the time to do it. One, because the worktops aren't on, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to do it, because I'd have to crouch down and ruin myself. And I can actually see, because there'll be light in there. So yeah, I'm thinking I might do that, and then maybe a bit of second fix in the kitchen as well. We'll see while we can. But yeah, right, I'm going to get cracking, and then I'll see you in a minute when we start doing some LED tape, I expect. Oh mama. Okay, so essentially what I want to do, because these cookers and things they're not like overly heavy, but they're expensive. Putting them on the floor, you run the risk of breaking glass and things like that. So I like to get me tables out, make sure you lock it into place properly, because you get yourself in trouble otherwise if it starts collapsing on you when you're doing it. But it means I can lift these ovens out, flex them up, put them back without too much sort of effort, without straining myself too much. So that's the idea anyway. Who put this in the way? My God, some idiot. So what we can do now is we can just get these, so they're not fixed in yet. I don't know what brand these are, to be honest. Lamona, so they're a Howden's own. Right, and what we can do, let's get that up on there. God, that one is heavy. Wow. They're not normally too bad, but there was a bit of weight to that, that's for sure. Right, oven one. Yeah. Oh, look at that, pre-flexed. Nice. Absolutely delicious. So, oh, this one's pre-flexed as well. How exciting. Right. Well, that's just given me a little bit less mucking around. What we need to do though, I'm pretty sure the cooker plate's not going to fit behind the oven. I'm going to double check the measurements. But if that's the case, what I need to do is essentially move the connection plate up a bit, and then I'm just going to end up putting a blank plate on there, so there's not a hole going into nowhere into the wall. But I need to check the measurements on that, and then we will find out. 55, yeah, there's not enough space. I've only got about 18 millimeters on the back there. So I'll have to move the connection plate up, which isn't too bad because this side of the wall is actually still open currently. Very nice. My belt's coming undone. So I'm gonna move both of those, blank off the original boxes, and then I can actually do these connections and then get on to something a bit more interesting. Okie dokie, so what I've done, cooker connection plate in, I'll put it on its side just because again I don't have the height. So I've done that, it's just going to keep things a little bit out of the way. Blanked off the old one, I'll do the exact same thing on this one in a second. But what I've got here, these are my 4 3/4 that come down from the box up above, which are going to go into my switch. The switch, I'm not entirely sure what the height that is. It's about here, roughly 1.2 on the outside. So I'm going to cut the box in a minute, and it's going to come to sort of 20 millimeters or 30 millimeters from the back wall is where the switch plate will start coming out that way. It's a 2-gang box because there's 4 switches on it. Now, I was hoping I could bring obviously my cables in rear entry into that, but I can't because the cooker actually comes back as far as there. Anyway, there is a bit of a recess here, but what I'm planning is actually cutting the box out on through both panels and then extending it just through this internal panel here, so my cables can sit in this groove and actually come in through the knockouts on the end of the light switch box, which I think will be quite nice actually, because 1, my cables are out of the way, 2, they are not going to come out directly behind the switch, and I should be able to actually make it work in my favour in terms of when I go to do the terminations as well. So I'm going to mark up this switch box on the outside of this one, get it cut in, and then come out with my multi-tool, cut this section just in this inner plate, not the outside, so I can get the cables in, push them back through. Like I said, the plasterboard's off the other side still. And then I can actually, once that box is in and the cables are there, I can actually put the oven back in, which would be nice. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to mark up that switch plate and then go for it. When I'm marking and cutting this, right, just a few tips from me on how I do it. Always make sure you mark in pencil. These panels are freaking expensive. This is a tall end panel, all right. You're looking at a couple £100 if you make a balls up on this. So use a pencil, make sure you use level, everything else. What I would do next, got my drill here. I've got a 6 or a 7mm drill bit, whatever that is. I'm going to drill the corners first. I'm not going to do it so they're completely inside the box. They're going to just come out ever so slightly because we've got a bit of overhang on this, but anyway. But what I want to make, because obviously the face plates on switches and that are obviously bigger than your back boxes. But I'm going to, do it so they come out just a little bit past. And then I've actually got a nice starting point for my multi-tool each time. Sorry, a bit gassy. Nice starting point for my multi-tool each time without, because if you try and cut straight into this, then you run a massive risk of slipping and cutting the panel and damaging it in a place where it will be visible. So I'm going to do that and then cut this one through and then cut the inside panel as well. But I will show you that as I do it. Okay, box is cut in, gone quite nice. You can see there that the corners are slightly bigger, but what that meant is the square is internally of those, and I can cut it out perfectly. And then you'll see here now where I've got the switch. Let's get that lined up a minute on the screw holes. So that's there. Other than that pencil mark, you don't see a thing. It's like there's stuff all over the unit. I think he's done his caulking and then smeared it all over the unit. So he's going to have a good clean up in it. Yeah, so that's gone really well. I'll show you around the back. So there's our box. What I will actually do, I'm going to push this box so it fits flush to the inside of this unit, so I'll gain like an extra 10mm of depth inside the unit. All I need to do now is cut this section out here so my cables can come in through the end knockouts. Lovely jubbly. That means there's been no cables in behind the oven. They go straight into the switch and I'll have plenty of room to actually do my terminations. So all round it should be a nice little job and quite an easy termination in that one as well. So worked out quite well. There we have it, switch box in, oven's back into place, all fits together really nicely. As you can see on the box there, look, we've got, 10mm depth in front of the box, so that I could have put a 35mm box in rather than 25, but that's worked out really nicely. I'm looking forward to doing that. That'll actually be an easy switch to second fix now. It's just a literally 4-gang regular switch there. We've got them dimming in the other position over there. So yeah, that'll be a doddle. I've been doing a little bit of mucking around in between. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get the other two connected. I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to get them done and get these cables all into the cupboard, those two top cupboards where they're meant to be for the lighting junction box and for the two isolators for the ovens. But I've been doing a little bit of mucking around. Made a start on some LED tape. I've done some temporary connections at the minute. Yeah, it is gonna look really sexy. Well happy with it. So these are all going to be dimmable as well. So at the minute, literally this extension lead is the only power we've got in the building at the moment. There's still no meter here. So what I'm having to do, as I do a length of tape, solder it up, or in this case, these are going to get through crimped, and the connections will be above 24 volts, so it doesn't matter. Only because I can't be bothered to get my soldering kit up here and try and muck around with that. So I've left the pre-made tails on them on this set. But yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome actually. I'm looking forward to seeing how well they dim. The drivers are massive, obviously. So this is a 100-watt driver, was it? Yeah, 100-watt driver. It's freaking huge. They get a little bit warm, so you have got to be careful about where you put them for obvious reasons. You don't want to cause a fire. But the idea is I want to go through and fit as much of the LED tape as I can. So even in this one, where it's not even plastered yet, I can go through, do the soldering. In fact, I did this one already the other day. Did a little couple of pictures on Instagram about it. So the LED tape is actually in behind the foam, already fitted and working. And this, I call this here, it's an opening really, but the client and all that, they call it a goalpost. So there's one here and there's one up in one of the bedrooms as well, around the doors going out onto the balcony. And it looks awesome when it's lit up. So I can't wait to show you guys when it's all finished. I might even get Mikey at Residual Current, because he does site shooters. That's his other business now, which because he is a very good photographer, it's obviously a passion of his. But I might get him to come down here and do a bit of filming when this one's finished, because he'll do it a lot more justice than I certainly can with my iPhone. But yeah, I'm going to get those ovens connected, and then just crack on. I'll probably get that switch second fixed just so the cables aren't hanging about, flopping about on everything. And yeah, just keep ticking my way through bits. Okay, I'm back. I've been away for a little bit. Been just crazy busy everywhere else. So yeah, last thing you saw me doing was obviously the cookers and a few other bits in there. So I have been back here for one day briefly in between that, because we had to get this LED profile. Let me see if I can get you focused up there. Probably not. I'll flip you around, hang on. This LED profile in around this stairwell, which is pretty cool. And then we ended up boarding this as well all the way around it, because the builder didn't quite understand how we wanted to do it. So I was just like, okay, we'll just do the whole thing. This is all boarded. So the lounge is actually skimmed now as well. That's how long it's been since I've last been here. So this is all skimmed, ready to go. But yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend a little bit of time in it, do some second fix in the kitchen, because I want to get that done. And then that will probably be the end of me in here. So I'll show you what I'm doing on the second fixing. Pardon me. And then we'll be back here for a big day. Well, actually probably a whole week soon. Do lots of second fix and get the board done. I'll do a standalone video on the board, because we're really going to go to town on that one. We're going to make a proper job of that. Likewise with the data cabinet. I know there's a lot of sparks on here that don't do much stuff with data. So Cat 6 and things. And so I'll show you what we're doing up in the loft on that, how we test through them, and etc. And yeah, so I'm going to do a bit of second fix in the kitchen, and then we'll call it a day. So I'll show you what I'm doing, and then yeah, should be pretty good. Okay, so we are using the Click Skolmore Definity range. I have actually got a few bits already. So you've got some of the newer stuff, some of the older stuff. So they used to sell it as in individual components, and now they actually sell them as a whole piece, because I'm assuming they've discovered if you're buying a spur back plate, you need that. And it just, because I did find ordering this lot in particular was a nightmare, because you just ended up having to order twice as many different part numbers, whereas with this, I know what I'm getting. So well done, Scotmore, makes things much easier. So we're going to have a twin socket with USB A and C. Is it A and C? I think it's A and C. Switch view spur there, which is for the fridge here. Twin socket, spur again for the, I believe, dishwasher. Twin socket in the corner. We're going to change that light switch over for a nice new one as well. Twin socket, and then a 4-gang dimmer switch, which controls all the lights in the kitchen and also the LED profile down there. So lots to do, and then obviously there's absolutely loads of sockets and things to do in the cupboard. So you've got a socket in the cupboard for that one, socket in the cupboard there. There's also a connection here for a hot boiling water tap. Obviously you've seen me pull these in here. Cooker supplies, that's a big lighting connection that's going in there. Cooker supply, oh, I've not done that one yet. I still need to put them through. That's annoying. I should have done that because it's bloody boarded now. My God. Oh well. What else? What else have we got? Not a lot, nothing in there. Just got some under-counter lights to do. We've got a socket for the extractor head to do. That one there needs to be flexed up. So there's quite a bit to do. But we're not going to get all that done today. But I have also realised I've forgotten my 50mm socket screw, so I can't screw any of these back. What else have I forgotten? There was something else. Oh, my Wago box, my Vargo box, whatever you want to call it. So I can't actually do the freaking light switches either. It's just one of them days. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to stop recording right here. I'm going to come back and I'm just going to actually second fix it in my next video, because this is completely pointless. So I'm going to be wearing different clothes and I've had a haircut and just be generally more handsome than ever, because it will be in a few weeks' time and I'll hopefully have lost a little bit more weight. See you in a bit.